On the surface, he looked like an ordinary water delivery worker. But in reality, he was one of South Korea's most brilliant surgeons. The moment he saw a young girl, he immediately recognized that her finger was fractured. Without urgent treatment, the injury could have led to serious consequences. He quickly took a child's ice cream, finished it within seconds, and used the wooden stick as a support for the injured finger. Then, using the girl's hair tie, he created a simple splint. Although it looked like a casual first aid fix, it was actually a textbook perfect stabilization technique. When they arrived at the hospital, the doctors were shocked by the quality of the splint. They explained that the timely and accurate treatment had likely saved the girl's finger from permanent damage. However, a much bigger problem soon emerged. The girl's father suddenly began coughing heavily and struggling to breathe. Chang-ho immediately sensed that something was seriously wrong. Within minutes, the man's condition deteriorated rapidly. At the same time, the hospital was overwhelmed by victims from a major traffic accident. Every doctor was busy, and no one paid attention to the desperate child asking for help. She cried and shouted for assistance, but her pleas were ignored. Eventually, a female doctor came to examine the situation, but she misdiagnosed the problem. Chang-ho stepped in and insisted that the issue was related to the man's heart, not his lungs. Of course, no one wanted to believe the words of a simple water delivery worker. Moments later, the father suddenly collapsed and stopped breathing. Knowing every second mattered, Chang-ho immediately called for emergency equipment and began life-saving procedures. After performing CPR and using a defibrillator, he successfully restored the man's heartbeat. Although the immediate danger had passed, the patient still needed urgent surgery to survive. Unfortunately, no surgeon was available. When the little girl handed over all of her savings and begged him to save her father, Chang-ho could no longer refuse. The operating room doors opened, and Chang-ho entered like a warrior stepping onto a battlefield. Most people assumed he was the department chief, but one senior doctor instantly realized he was an outsider. Instead of stopping him, he decided to watch what would happen. What followed left everyone speechless. Chang-ho's surgical precision was beyond anything they had ever seen. He made the first incision with incredible accuracy, barely causing any bleeding at all. In that moment, everyone realized they were witnessing the work of a truly extraordinary surgeon.